surf on the pump, and warm, sunny skies greeting a healthy beach crowd enjoying some of the finest surfers from across the planet. And 4 of them out in the water right now. Coco Ho of Hawaii, Garashi Sanchez Otun from Euskadi, Shino Matsuda, the highly rated Japanese surfer, Francisca Vaselco of Portugal. Paul Evans back in the studio for the call alongside Peter Mel. And the sets are stacked, Pete. They just keep on coming thick and fast.
Love it, love it, love it. That's exactly why we come to this spot right here on the coastline of Portugal, because it is so consistent. It just keeps pumping. I mean, this morning, yeah, it was kind of average. And then all of a sudden, we're back into the afternoon, and it is on the pump once again. I love every minute of it.
It really feels like this kind of 3/4, 2/3 tide just allows that water on the reef. It's really helping these sets kind of gather in and focus that energy. And all of that energy focusing up in that dramatic sort of climax down on the inside by the rocks as well. A lot for our athletes to think about, as well as trying to surf to the judging criteria. They want to try and stay off the rocks as well.
I used to be a fan of, like, when the tide came up. Now I'm a fan of it on the other side. Like on the downside slide, it seems to me that the quality of waves, it happened at the US Open. Like literally every time a tide switched and turned around, all of a sudden the set starts pouring in, and it defies logic, but I mean, I'm just going to take what I see here.
So a brand new 30-second clock. We've lost a couple of minutes of those. And just during the break, we did have a wave from Garazzi. Got herself a 5.33. She's on your screen there. Surfing in blue. Hailing from the Basque region. Traditionally, a real strength for European surfing. This was during the break. And this was the wave of Garazzi. Got early on, Pete.
Yep, earned a 5.33. And that mid-tide, as you mentioned. And now you see it stands up through the midsection. We had sometimes a wave of do its thing on the outside. Now it seems to be connecting all the way through. And that's what we want to see, is just opportunity. See a bunch more maneuvers. You see steeper on the face. That's where we want to see the maneuvers being done. And right now, there's lots of opportunity for these surfers. This was Shino Matsuda in her first wave, the 4.73 on her backhand. Quick snap here, and look at this nice vertical face, and she attacks it nicely. Great groove. Just lost it, fell out of that groove on that final move.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with her. A lot of talk. Mora Suzuki, of course, a big story from Japan, historic. And her rocketing up the qualifying series rankings. But Shino Matsuda, it's really, really polished as well. A little mistake there, but a big number. Nevertheless, 6.83 dropping in for her. So those vertical hangers, the judges enjoying the fact she just tweaked it up in the lip, then falls down out of the sky straight into the next bottom turn. They appreciate that, Pete.
Yeah, and think about what she would have done if she had pulled off that last move. I mean, I mistakenly thought that was the 4.73. I was like, well, I mean, that was a kind of a low score for a turn like that. But hey, no, that's not the case. That is a massive backside snap. You and I touched on the Japanese surfers and the way that they approach, this wave. They've got this really great style, and I don't know where it comes from, but maybe it's their coaching, maybe it's the surfers that they looked up to as they were growing up on tour, because I think I reflect on a lot of the surfers that came out of Japan. Very, very stylish surfers.
Real textbook techniques. Real pleasure to watch, especially on a drawn-out wave like this. Let's see Garashi Sanchez, and she'll go down the line and make use of some kind of tight corners with a nice little snap in a vertical section. She'll swing from the bottom to the mid part of the wave. Get a little bit patient through here. A little runner section for Garashi. She kind of snatches at it a little bit and then gets a big hit on the end. So a nice clip, kind of changing direction at the same time. And a well put together wave from her. So she's looked at this from the beginning, already got that 5, and then getting a good backup already. Great way to start things off.
Wow, applying the pressure to the veteran here in Coco Ho, and I've yet to see Francesca get a wave yet. The local Portuguese surfer. Let's see the replay here of Garazzi. Mid-size wave. She's surfing outside of priority now, so she's able to take these smaller waves, but the line still pretty darn good. Really like the finish here at the end. Some busy work here, but picking up some speed, winding it up down the line, picks the moment. And it was the perfect moment. She tags it, beautifully done.
So it's precision surfing from our Basque in the blue. She's going to improve certainly a position, probably a original wave as well. Gets a 5.83. She's still in second place, but already with good total. Just coming off shy half a point worse than Matsuda's total. And in the meantime, let's go down and hear from Alyssa Spencer, winner of the last heat. She's standing by with Joanne.
Thanks, Paul. Great job there, Alyssa. Today we started off with the guys, and the girls finally had their start. So equal opportunities, great waves. How was it?
Yeah, the waves were really fun out there today. I'm glad that they held it off to run these last 2 days. Yeah, we're getting great conditions, and it was really fun.
And you've been here for a week already. Have you been free surfing anywhere else?
I haven't yet. I've gone and checked a couple other places, but haven't gone out anywhere besides Ericeira. So, yeah, I'm excited to hopefully explore around if we have another lay day, and I'm sure that there's other amazing waves around here too.
And what board are you riding?
I'm riding Channel Islands 2 Happy. It's kind of like my everyday shortboard that I always ride, and yeah, it's been working really well.
Looks happy under your feet. Great job. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
All right, all smiles in the interview there, Alyssa Spencer. And the waves pretty pumping during that heat. She's stoked to come away with the win through to that next round, and on a bit of a roll, she'll hope just keep that energy going, just kind of bottle it, bring it back the next time the women are called on. As we'll tick down towards 21 and 10 on the clocks. Coco Ho, a recognizable figure. Not really managing to get an opportunity as yet. She'll be pretty patient using that experience that she's got.
Well, she's been in this situation before where, you know, didn't get the quick, great start. So now she has to battle back in this heat. You know, there's some scores that are already posting on there. A 6.83 by Shino. And then the pair of fives by Garazzi, which, you know, again, applies pressure to her, but she'll be patient right now, has second priority. As the first 2 waves of Coco Ho, just very small scores, 0.37 for both of those. Guaranteed throwaways at the end of this heat.
All right, sets lining up on the outside bowl here. We see a little readjust in position. Might get a little from behind the whitewater entry there as well. As we see, this looks like Francisca Vaselko, a Portuguese surfer. And a real tricky wave for her.
Good sell by Coco Ho there. She was making a move towards it, which then again Francesca said, "Oh, really? Nice shiny lure." She took the bait. Nothing going there. So now Coco back into that priority position, and this is an opportune time. Be patient, pick the good one, and get her score that's right up there with her competitors, so she can get herself in the mix.
So a Monday afternoon, around about 4:15 local time in Portugal. Probably about 3 hours of light left, something like that, around about 7 p.m., maybe 7:30. Getting dark out here. We're on the extreme west of Europe, continentally wise anyway. Can't go much further out into the ocean. One of the reasons why we've got such good exposure to a bunch of swell. And we've been saying it all week, but it's so consistent, this spot, not only throughout the day and throughout our weeks, but just from year to year in terms of it doesn't really ever let us down. Handles the wind pretty well as well, but we've been blessed so far. Early on in our waiting period, we've got a bunch more surfing to bring you as we will look to conclude the MEO Vissla Pro Ericeira sometime before the end of this weekend, so plenty of time left in our waiting period. Of course, the second of 4 Challenger Series events. US Open in Huntington Beach kicked off the Challenger Series for 2021, and we're looking to qualify surfers. We're hoping to open new chapters in surfing history, and hoping to do that is a Japanese surfer by the name of Shino Matsuda. She's a ripper. She's already thrown down a great score of 6.83. She's got a slightly troublesome wave here. They're not really able to get out on the clean face thus far. Deals with the wobbles well. I love the whip, and it looks effortless from her on her backhand. These turns are pretty much textbook. Doesn't get a completion on the last one, but staying busy. Not sure she'll threaten much there. Maybe a touch of disappointment. Meanwhile, in live action, this looks like our Portuguese surfer who hung a little inside. Is in last place in terms of prior. She's got a nice little meaty section here, Francisca, and she'll hit that. Not a load of speed coming into that maneuver, so she was surfing kind of a little bit stuck, maybe in kind of third gear, but nevertheless, much better from her.
Well, considering she's carrying a very low score in her first wave, that'll be definitely better. But her competitors so far are getting a quick early start. Coco still being very patient outside here, looking at finding herself a quality wave. Getting slipped out of the first exchanges there. Felt like she put herself a little bit deep early in the heat. Let's watch this replay here of Shino. And as you'd mentioned, a smaller wave, which ended up going into the suds. Always a challenge to navigate through that white watery foam. Can't really engage the fins really solidly. It's great if you're going straight, but when you're trying to maneuver through it, it's a bit forgiving. So you feel like your board wants to slide out. You never really get the fins slicing through it, as you could tell by their performance on that wave.
Well, under 17 to go in this one, Pete. So some sets stacking up. But we see Coco Ho on a legitimate wave. She's got a couple of very small throwaways so far. She looks like she's positioning herself here, and this could be a great-looking wave. She's pretty much underneath it, and she'll be having a paddle here, the Hawaiian. And she's up in the slot. Coco Ho, live action, off the bottom. Hits one off the top. A little explosion in that white water. She deals with it pretty well. A nice little section here in front of her. She'll gather herself. Just kind of clip a bit of a bouncy lip line. Just does well to kind of negotiate that. Finishes off with a little bonus kind of left section. Just to put a little exclamation point. Finished off the wave. Much better stuff from Coco. And heat pretty much starts here. As we see sets coming up and stacking up on the horizon. Of course, surfing, one of the big draw cards around here for fans of kind of action sports and all things like that, but not the only one. We do as well have the Mosh Impact Zone, and Joanna's exploring it.
Hello? Yeah, that's right. Here at Ericeira, it's not just surfing. We also have some skateboarding. A little demonstration for you right here. And we got the little ones, the future pros, the local pros that are also showing what they've got. And naturally surfing.
All right, the Mosh Impact Zone, the next generation of grommets. They're riding the forever wave there, Pete.
And they're riding it all day long. I mean, it's literally, you can hear it. The kids are just on fire over there. The Mosh Impact Zone, that's part of the whole festivities that happen here. I mean, there's everything, a little bit of everything. I know that, you know, the fresh Cervecias are down there too. And the sunshine obviously brings out the crowds. You know, surfing obviously is the focus, but a lot more to happen in board sports here at the Mosh Impact Zone.
Something for everyone. The Stoker's reel in the Mosh Impact Zone. Of course, we also have the Estrella Galicia if you need a little bit of refreshment as well. Coming in to support surfing once again here in Europe. Meanwhile, looking to support herself, hopefully through to the next round, and a big hit from the Basque. She got a whole load of that lip, throwing up some nice spray. Then just to kind of go round a section, a little snap in the pocket from her. She spreads those wings, holding those arms out wide for balance and doing some good negotiation of some troublesome waters. Another snap from her. She's gone a mile on this wave. Another nice little tail tap as well on the end, and a really well put together wave.
It absolutely was.
More live stuff right behind her. Your heat leader, Matsuda. She is smooth as you like. She'll just take her time and just flick up a first turn. So effortlessly, that's a really nice technical turn to do. She made room with the bottom turn and put the tail of the board right up there in the lip. Really impressed by Shino.
Yes, I am too. You know, and you can see that this lower tide has allowed that finish section away from the rocks now. They're not so right involved. We watched the replay here real quick. And her choice of waves has been like that second or third wave in the set. So she's had to navigate through this foamy section. But again, it's a little bit smoother if you can get just outside of that foam, which she has done on this wave. Setting up this inside section again, you get to that final move, and thank goodness those rocks aren't right in front of your face anymore. You're able to complete the move, get it done, and then jump off before the rocks appear right in front of you. Gonna watch Garatti. I mean, this was one of those waves from the outside that stood up pretty much the entire way. Beautiful two snaps on the outside section. Usually this is where the wave starts to flatten out, which it did. But still, look, right there into that section. Sometimes you see these waves, they'll just build the whole way. They actually grow as they go down the line. A grower, we like those words, we use that word. But look at that, I mean, it just kept giving her a steep face. She kept hitting the lip. Nice, different variety of maneuvers, and she kicks out clean. So nice well-developed wave from start to finish.
Garachi just ripped that one all the way down the point. We'll pick up the drone view and see Coco Ho just finishing off what looks like a very abbreviated ride from her, because she's pretty much still out there on the peak. She'll go back and secure second priority as well shortly, which is at the moment held by Francisca Vasalco out of Portugal, sitting in 4th place right now. And scores to come in are going to improve things for our leaders. It's a 7 for Garashi Sanchez. 7 points for her, a good number. I've also got a score to drop for Shino Matsuda out of Japan. 4.73 is her backup number. Let's see where her last wave comes in, but things could get more difficult for Coco Ho's. A little bit up against it here, Pete. Under 12 minutes to go. She's got nothing of any major quality, just a 4.1, her high score. Bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it is a bit of a surprise, especially after a performance at the U.S. Open. As we look at the 5 judges there, you have 5 judges on the panel. A pair of 6.8s, 7.0, a 7.2, and then a 7.8. You average out, you drop the high and the low, and then you average the other 3. That's where you get the number. But yeah, Coco is going to have to fight back in this 11.5 minutes. I don't think that 4, I mean, yeah, you say you could probably, pick up a number that's going to get her all the way up there, but ultimately focusing on 2 waves at this point with 11 minutes to go.
All right, both surfers holding down the peak, having a little look at that wave. Maybe a pretty good decision not to go that one, just kind of running out of impetus as it trundles its way down the reef, and then they'll decide to scatter and head in slightly different directions, looking for an entry into this relatively tricky lineup for a point break. Generally speaking, a point breaks, they kind of hug the shore and give you a good idea where to sit. This one, it is a more wide open playing field. Here goes Coco. She's found a good entry into this wave with some nice opening section. Staying lively, keeping that board moving. Deep water through here. And with that tide going out, that water kind of rushing up the wave a little bit. So she'll just kind of be patient, keep snapping and swinging. And then she'll get a little racetrack wall through here. Nice carve off the rail from her. Good spray. Keeping that board again. Another nice snap from her. The redirection, the nose going completely back the other way. A little jam on the rail as well. Much better stuff from Coco.
Much better, and looks very relaxed. I mean, even though she's in this behind, she didn't look like her surfing was stiff. Just unfortunately, the wave really didn't give her a great opportunity, but I would say that this is going to be an improvement on the low score, or the other score she has, the 4.0. And she'll be able to tighten the gap between Garachi and Shino, but the wave came in for Shino. It's going to be another big number. This is that rhythm that Coco has. Nice section here. Really drives through that maneuver. You can see she brings that front arm up and over. That's kind of the crisp style from the Ho family.
Good number in for Coco. It's a 5.57. This is live action here of Vasalco out of Portugal, who's been super patient. Just ridden 2 waves in this one. She's got a good looking wave here. Holds that rail line through a sort of a high line slash down out of the top wave. That's a massive hit, and she comes out of it with a ton of speed.
And again.
Wow, coils into the bottom. She's found rhythm through here. Commits to the bottom turn. A little bit more variety on a more of a face turn, but she likes that, and she needed a little something from somewhere to go her way, and that 2-turn combination, Pete, we enjoyed that.
Yeah, we did, and it's going to be, and I'm sure the judges will enjoy it, it's going to be a pretty big number, especially that size of that section was massive.
Under 9 to go in this, it's really fired up. Matsuda drops a 7 for her last wave. Those backhand precision turns, judges paying out 7 points for her, and this is what we just saw from our Portuguese surfer Vasalco.
Vasalco, again, the start, a little sleepy, but this is where it starts to stand up. You see that compressed bottom turn, beautiful carving maneuver, arc all the way through, and then this combo tags it, flies over it with speed, and then another section and does not shy away from it, straight into it again. And the 2-turn combo, actually, let's give her 3 right back to back, and maybe even a 4th. Nope, she just kicks out, but I think the job was done. It's going to be a big number.
She's really setting herself with the bottom turn and just waiting to take on that lip. Let's see how the judges pay out on that. Impressive stuff from our Portuguese surfer who's not been at the races in this. Nothing really notable. And the drone view, the drone almost got a little bit caught by the spray there, which is always nice to see. And just shredding every real opportunity that came on that wave. She wrung everything she could out of it. It's going to be interesting to see how this score goes. Coco's wave comes in as that 5.57. So now things looking closer. Coco 7.26 though she needs for second, so still a pretty hefty requirement. According to what she's had so far, she really needs to up the ante. 7.5 to go, does have plenty of time. Let's hope the Waves keep providing consistency. They're providing scoring opportunity, and a really good number is going to drop in for Vissla. Judges, well, just 2 of them are undecided, but they're looking like the highest score of their heat so far as this one comes in.
Well, in the very good range, you'll see from Francesca, Shino's holding a very good wave, as well as Garazzi, which means it's from 7 to 8, like 6.5 to 8, generally is what we call very good. Excellent being 8 to 10. But ultimately, you want to carry a couple very good waves into your score line if you really want to make your heats.
Score comes in, it's an 8, so she goes into the excellent range, and she surfed her way from 4th to 3rd with an 8-point ride, and now her requirement just a 4.83 for seconds. Coco Ho drops back into 4th, still the same requirement for her, of course, but she's gone into 4th, 6.5 on the clock.
Garazzi is now, she's been having a very good heat, building through her performances. Had the 5.33, then the 5.83, and then the 7, but now finds herself like, woo, she needs to improve on that 5.83. So this is going to be an important stage of priority for her. She carries number 2 next to her name, which means that she's second priority. As Shino, your heat leader, is number 1. So these 2 surfers right now, strategy-wise, would be protecting, right? They'd be kind of hovering around the peak, making sure that they don't make any bad choices for waves or paddle for a wave unexpectedly. Coco's strategy being at number 3, you can see what she's doing. She's basically right now going to push herself a little bit deeper. She's seen something early in the heat that she pushed a little bit deeper to get that wave. We saw yesterday Cooper Chapman. I love how he called me out when he came into the booth.
He wasn't having that, was he? It's like, all right, you're not backing me. Hey.
He fully called me out. And, hey, I call it like I see it. We didn't really get to see his waves because a lot of his first wave wasn't even really caught. But the next one we had a drone angle. But yeah, there is something that can be done sitting deep. It's just a special type of wave. There's not a consistently waves breaking in that back portion of the reef.
5.20 on the clock. You think about that neat score for Vissla, 4.83. It's actually a pretty tricky score to get. Obviously, a high 4 doesn't sound like a huge number, but you do need a legit wave. You can't just go anything and just kind of do a couple of wiggles. That's not going to pay out a high 4, so she's going to have to be pretty careful with the wave selection. Let's check the recap. It's been really impressive from your heat leader, Matsuda, from the get-go. She's looked razor sharp.
Yeah, and this is why. Look at that snap there. Just beautifully up into the lip. Would have seen that score go much higher had she been able to finish that final move. But these 2, Shino and Garazzi, were pretty much running away with it early in the heat. And it was by the virtue of just great wave selection, no mistakes being made on their waves, driving through the maneuvers. Look at this section here. A lot of bump on the face, but she's able to control it very nicely and gets a finish move. So this was Garazzi's best wave, came in at a 7. Shino's backup score here, which actually turns out to be her best wave, a 7.0. Great rhythm, able to get the wave that grew down the line, super smooth on the face. A lot of the score came on this last maneuver, really putting everything into it, hammering the lip. We've seen it all event long. You attack the lip like that, you're going to get scores. Best wave here from Francesca. A nice size set wave, gets that arc, patient off the bottom. Another beautiful arc again. Look at all the way around, wraps it back into the whitewater, and then 2 turns here. Compressed in the bottom turn once again, up and over, carrying that speed into this next section, hammers it once again. 8 points. Gets herself right in contention. Now needs just to say a safe 5 will get her to turn into that second position.
Vissla setting things up. We rejoin live action. Here's Garazzi Sanchez. She's flying down the line. And she'll get a snap under the lip, and then things will get steep in here. She'll have to just wait that section out. There's a lot of S-ing going on. Then she'll go again with a kind of slashing maneuver just before the lip rather than legitimately in it. She'll look to finish off down on the inside under that 3-minute mark now. We do have a score, crucially, to drop in for Vissla as well. So Francisca has got herself a wave. And let's see how that plays out scoreboard-wise. We're going to have another look at Garachi's wave.
Replay here. This is an important wave. For Garachi to increase her score line, so the outside work, just some carves out on the face. No real maneuvers in the lip. Now she's dealing with the foam here, so she has to be kind of conservative because you can't really rip into the face when it's like that. Now get some open face. And again, you talked about the turn being done below the lip. Now that's different than what we saw her when she attacked the lip, and so the judges will take note of that, and it won't be as high a score for that reason. This is Francesca Vaselko, and this is an important ride, trying to surf for the 4.83 to turn the heat. Smaller wave, some rhythm there. You know, question marks.
A little bit lacking in forward momentum, you'd say. You know, the turns are quite nice and crisp, but just lacking that kind of overall sort of visual impressiveness that you get when you got that down the line speed. She didn't have much of it. Let's see how the judges process. 140 on the clock. Coco Ho is struggling a little bit. She's out the back. She does have priority. Her requirement, 726. She's more than capable of that. Let's see if she can get an opportunity. 90 on the clock for the Hawaiian to get herself out of a little bit of a sticky situation. Meanwhile, on the inside, prowling, we've got all of her adversaries as well, also looking to get involved. Shino Matsuda doesn't really need to get too caught up in this. She's looking great for first right now. A little bit of time will tick away, and Vaselko, she's made a decision here. She's super deep. Let's see what she gets going here. Still looking for that 4.83, a big turn, but she's going to put herself behind. I'm not sure she's going to come around that section. And that looks like her with a minute to go. A good turn from her. Don't think it was a high four for the one maneuver. She'll try and paddle back out. Time's going to tick away. Let's see if we can pick up Coco. See where she is in the lineup. She basically needs to go this wave. Might be an all right little reform section for the takeoff from her. Nice little entry into this wave from Coco. The requirement 726 for the Hawaiian, and she's in and flying down the line. It's a massive first turn, just overcooks it, Pete.
Yeah, she needed to do that. You know, I commend the effort, but obviously you want to have her make that maneuver. And now puts herself in a very tough situation as we watch Shino up and riding.
Great looking wave. Wow, that's really well surfed for an opening turn. All the way straight down the wave from entry into a bottom turn, and then a big backside hanger. Just the one maneuver. She'll bring this in. She's been really impressive. I love her maneuver selection. I just think she's also managed to always be in the kind of sweet spot in the wave. So important down here. And she's looked really good value for the win.
Yeah, that's it. We still have Francesca's scores to come in, but just by reviewing mentally, doesn't feel like it's going to be quite enough to turn the heat. So Shino and Garachi, even though it got close towards the end, they may save it.
We're waiting for judges to just make this official score for each of our surfers to come in. That's our Portuguese surfer, Vaselko. And she needed that 4.83. We're not sure we saw that kind of stuff from her, but we'll just wait till everything's come in before we get official in terms of the results. But an impressive performance from Shino Matsuda. And we've been talking all week, both men's and women's side, about the Japanese contingent, not only in terms of results, but just the style, the technique, the polish. It's textbook stuff from her, and she can definitely count herself among that list. It's got a really enviable technique, Shino.
So true, you know, and it's not only just on the back end. Her, you know, she carries great technique on the forehand as well.
Coco just a little bit baffled in there. Just got really sort of starved out of the good waves. Sometimes just next to bin in the right spot. The person next to you gets a good wave. You get the next one, it turns to nothing.
Yeah, that's that rhythm, but so key.
We are just waiting for a couple of numbers to come in as we make it official. Coco, that'll be it for her. She'll reprocess. Bit of free surfing timeout for the rest of this swell in Portugal before heading up to France, of course. That event kicking off in 2 weeks' time. But this woman here, Garachi Sanchez Ortun from the Basque Country, waiting to find out, will she retain her status in second place? Or is Vaselko going to come from behind her?
And always that worried moments, yeah? You're just questioning, reviewing in your head. Shino, we think, is safe with the 13.83 total, which is an impressive two-wave total here in the round of 64.
Yeah, she looked really, really good out there. And she looks pretty stoked on the way things. I didn't really make it up. Well, she fell on that first wave. Still got a good score for it. But other than that, didn't really put a foot wrong. She's always seemed to be in the right place in the lineup, the right place on the waves themselves. And she's got some good rhythm with Rabira Dillas. And nervous faces there as well from Vasilko, needing that 4.83. Well, I tell you what, wow. So her third last score is coming in. It's going to be super close to 4.63. So coming in just shy. Oof. Comes in as 4.63. She's got other numbers that are already in for waves she rode after that. So that's going to make it official. Vasilko will remain in third. Smiles for a bass surfer. Garashi Sanchez there. She's stoked. A big total from her, 12.83. And she will advance as well into the next round. It's a disappointment for the Portuguese Vasilko. She'll debrief and figure her stuff out heading into France, and we'll just keep on rolling and make it official. Heat number 7 of a round of 64 Challenger Series action for the women. The MEO Vissla Pro Ericeira, Matsuda and Sanchez. They'll advance. We're going to get a quick commercial break. When we come back.